Family, famalicious, fam. What's good with everybody? Happy Monday. Happy belated Thanksgiving. I pray that everybody's Thanksgiving was filled with family, with friends, with love, and that you guys had a restful and enjoyable holiday weekend. Back to this Monday grind. Let's get it in. Shannon Ewing is in the building. Tatty Cops, my guy, salute. L. Oliver in the building. Gina versus Gina. Two of the best mods in the business on my channel. RF Taylor, salute. Burner Girl, congrats on the grandchild. Salute. You know, if you're looking for a name, holla. Alan is a good one. STD, what's good, fam? What is good? X Factor, go mob out here. Major Havoc, salute. Black 007, salute. Cream Wood, what up, fam? Denton in the house. Barnacle Bull, salute. Big Easy, my Neezy, what's cracking? Serena Norrell, hey. What's happening with you? All right. Okay. We'll maybe we'll get into that a little bit. Snap, what's good with you? BTG in the building. Hank the Tank, salute. All right. Oh man. Oh. What's good, fam? So look, fam. I don't know how long we're going to go tonight. We'll just play that by ear. I got one kind of topic I want to bring up with you guys, but mainly I got a lot of announcements to make. So for those who missed the live a couple of weeks ago, well, before I even get into that, let's make the first announcement. You guys may have noticed that last week I didn't drop any new videos. That was not because I didn't want to. It's not because I was taking a vacation. It was not because I didn't have content prepared. It was because I got a strike by YouTube. And so my channel was shut down for 7 days. I appealed and they wouldn't waive it, whatever. Consequently, I ended up taking down about 100 videos, about 60 shorts and about 40 full-length videos. Now, about 20 of those I'm going to be re-uploading. So you're going to see like a video drop once a day from me. Some of them will be premieres, typically the ones that drop on like a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, unless I have a Monday live like I did tonight. Typically those will be premieres. The other ones I'm not going to do premieres on. They'll just be drops. Some of them you may have seen already. Go ahead and watch it again for your boy. Go ahead and watch it again for your boy, because I lost hundreds of thousands of views from the videos that I deleted. But neither here nor there. Don't feel sorry for your boy. It's all good. I have a much better understanding now of what they were looking for. BTG, it was the fact, even though I wasn't doing it, in my opinion, you know, YouTube is very funny style. You cannot on YouTube promote the sale of firearms and any kind of verbiage loosely implying that they can give you a strike or they can give you a warning or they can do whatever it is that they want to do. So I would just say, be cautious about the things that you say. God, what's good, my man? Good to see you. Good to see you. So that was one thing. All right. Now, so you're going to get a lot of content from me back to back. So hopefully you don't get bored of your boy, because we got some good content coming your way. Now, in the last live, I told you guys we were doing the first annual 2A NLA Heat Check Honors Awards. What the heck is that, right? On December the 29th of this month, we will be doing our normal live stream, only it is going to be a special event. It is going to be an award show that is paying tribute to all the individuals and the companies that are moving the needle in the 2011 space, right? Last week, I kind of shared with you the categories, and you know what? Let me see if I can put that up real quick. Let's put that over here. Let's see if I can put those categories up. Okay, so the categories are Best New 2011 of 2025, Best Budget 2011 of 2025, Best Carry 2011 of 2025, Best Production 2011 Builder, Best Custom 2011 Builder, Best 2011 Pistol Overall, Best New 2011 Builder, Breakthrough Gun Builder of 2025, Most Innovative 2011 of 2025, Best Third Party 2011 Vendor, Best Value 2011 of 2025, which is different than budget, Best 2011 Retailer, and my personal favorite 2011 Content Creator, excluding me, of course. Oh, right. So excluding me, of course. So those are the categories that we are going to be awarding. And so, fam, I got to say, this was an idea that kind of came into my head around November, middle of November. And I have been blown away. Hey, Wind and Horn, 66314, salute, fam. Stephen Barnes, salute. Anybody else, if I missed you, my apologies. I'll get you as the chat continues to roll. So this was something that kind of came into my head mid-November, and the response from the community and sponsors have been overwhelming. The fact that, in fact, if you guys have never put together an event like this, particularly one where you have to seek out corporate sponsorship, I can tell you that a lot of times these people's budget, these companies' budgets are established before the year starts. Everything is kind of designated. So to be in November talking about I want to do an event in basically 30 days or 45 days and have people come step up to the plate to participate, I was very surprised and touched by how everybody, but by the way, everybody rallied behind me to help put this event on. I think it's going to be an awesome, awesome event. And so I want to share, some announcements around that. So we talked about the categories. Let me say what's up to the chat real quick. Creamwood. I'm sorry, that's Shannon. There we go. This one is, I'm not eligible because it's my award show. So this is going to go to my favorite 2011 content creator of 2025. And we've got some worthy people out there. Hey, my man, Steve, congrats, bro. You are going to love that gun. Like I said, the gun scored 91 out of a possible 100. There were a couple of reliability issues with the prototype gun that I don't expect to be there when the actual production gun rolls out. I think you're going to love it. It's physically stunning. It's a great shooting gun. Yeah, congrats. Congrats. Chris Lockhart, salute. What's good, fam? All right, hold on. I want to kind of share with you guys too. I talked a little bit about how much support, sponsor support I've gotten. Again, this is a very sh- at very short notice to try to get people on board. Some of the sponsors are still being worked out as we speak. But look, fam, I gotta give you guys, share with you guys kind of who we've got on board as of right now. So let's do this. All right, fam. You guys saw it. Look, we have some big time sponsors. Shout out to all of the sponsors. I'll read out their names again a little bit later in the live, but I was, like I said, overwhelmed by the quality of the sponsors, their willingness to get involved with this event. And man, I think it's going to be an awesome, awesome event. So stand by for more details. So look, we went over the categories last time. We went over kind of the categories last time. I just gave you the sponsors. On our next live on December the 15th, I'll be dropping all the nominees. So stand by for that. Hold on, did I miss anybody? My man, the Armsman, salute in the building. Tactical Chef, NC in the building. Winner of the Or Armament gun. By the way, Kitchen Confidential. What's good, fam? I mailed out all my stuff I was supposed to mail out. Apologize, it took me a little bit longer than it normally does. Eyes and Ears Tactical, my dude. So look, I always try to give shout out to the content creators in the group. Obviously, Gina versus Gina is my mom, but she has her own amazing channel. Bust Them Guns has an amazing channel. Major Havoc, amazing channel. Check out my guy, Eyes and Ears Tactical. My West Coast homie left me. He left me and he moved out of state, but man, we still watch him and appreciate him. Shout out to Eyes and Ears. If you're not following him, make sure you do. My man, much appreciated. So look, fam, I got something in the works with Vikings. So stay tuned for that. That'll probably be 2026, early 2026. Black King 9, salute. What's good, fam? All right. So we talked about the award show, talked about the categories, talked about the sponsors. Nominees will be announcing on December 15th. I might sneak out a few. I might sneak out a few ahead of time on Instagram. So if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, you guys should. I think, y'all can tell me, but I think I'm a pretty good Instagram follow. Also, I will tell you that a lot of the guns that I'm getting in for review are guns that I purchased and added to the collection that stuff usually drops on Instagram well in advance of when it finds its way to YouTube, primarily because it's a lot easier to do a pic or a quick short than full-length content like you guys are used to me dropping. So keep an eye out for that. All right, look. Next announcement. I told you tonight is a lot about announcements. So as you guys know, I've been doing giveaways throughout the course of the year. I promised you guys that we would be doing a 2011 giveaway this year. I wasn't sure what it was going to be, but I was able to confirm without a doubt over the Thanksgiving holiday that our next giveaway that will be done at the award show. So on December the 29th, we will be doing our next gun giveaway. That is going to be a 2011 giveaway. And I have worked with our good friends at Fusion Firearms. They will be providing their brand new XP Pro Comp gun. I've got the review dropping on this comp gun in the next couple of weeks. It's a great shooter. Now, I'm also going to outfit the gun. I'm going to talk to my guys at Covert, see if I can get them to do it. But either way, we're going to make it happen. We're going to outfit that gun with an SRO and an X300 Lite. So you're going to get a brand new Fusion Firearms XP Pro outfitted with an SRO and an X300 Lite. Stand by, right? Stand by. That gun, it shoots really, really good. Not to give away all my content ahead of time, but I did a head-to-head with the new XP Pro Comp and my upgraded XP Pro Comp by Skip's Guns. Skip took my XP Pro and he ported it, did a trigger job on it. He did a recoil reduction on it and deleted the grip safety. And I kind of thought, fam, I'm not going to lie, that gun runs. So when I took out the new comp gun along with Skip's gun, I was expecting it to still not be a fair fight between my vastly improved gun and the comp. And I got to say, I was surprised, fam. That comp gun shot. It shot. Yes, Kitchen Confidential, California. And that's the other thing. That gun can be a California gun. So it'll come in as an SSE, but it will be a California gun. So you will be able to get it in California now. I can't speak for other states. That's coming through my state. And so it's coming the way it needs to come in California. And of course, if you're in a free state, you can get it no matter what. But if it is a, if you're in like New York or something like that, someplace that's got a handgun roster, then you're subject to your state's laws. So look, I'm so happy. Shout out to Fusion Firearms for stepping up and supporting the event and supporting the channel and supporting you guys. You guys always show up for them. So they were very, very happy to show up for you. Coy, go mob, what's good with you? So look, fam, that's the next announcement, right? All right, look, and since we're talking about giveaways, tonight we got a member giveaway. We're going to be giving away O-Sight C. This is the RMR footprint. Of course, we'll be giving away a 2A NLA patch and keychain. Let me say one other thing about the Fusion Firearms XP Pro Comp giveaway. Number one, if you are a member of my channel, and if you're not, you have until midnight tonight to become a member of my channel. If you are a member of my channel, you are automatically entered in the giveaway. You don't have to do nada. You don't have to do a thing. If you are, I did some images of it, Mike, when I was doing the sponsor video, but I'll try to put up something before we shut it down. And I'll definitely have pictures up on the 15th of it when we do that live. Jada Budget Gunfire, what's good, fam? So if you're a member, by no later than midnight tonight, you automatically get one free entry into the contest. If you go to the website, and I'll ask Gina or Shanna to put the website in the chat. If you have not already registered at the website, you have until midnight tonight, Pacific Standard Time. So I'm giving you guys the most run rate. You have until midnight tonight to register with the site. And if you're already registered, you've already been eligible for prior ones. This is for new people who have not registered previously. You have till midnight tonight to register on the site, and you too can get an entry. If you're a member who has never registered, then go to the site and then you can get 2 entries. All right. I am debating or not whether I am going to limit it to members and new registrants, or whether I'll give people an opportunity to buy some additional entries. I'll think about it. But for now, those are the only 2 ways to win unless I open it up. So make sure you do. Look, my man says say less. My man said say less. Sign a brother up. So yeah. So much appreciated for that. So we talked about the XP Pro giveaway, talked about the giveaway for night, the Olight C. So stay tuned for that. Couple more announcements. The Gundies. If you guys are not aware, you have a few Gundy nominated individuals who are here in the chat. Your boy got nominated for Best Gun Reviewer. Major Havoc got nominated, I believe, for Best Micro Influencer. You got my man Jeff at the Weapons Collective, who I think got nominated for Best Breakthrough Gun Tuber. Tactical Bearded Dad got nominated for Best Micro Influencers. So the way the Gundies work is you go to the Gundies website, and I believe it's thegundys.com, and you can vote once a day between now, December the 1st, and December 15th. I know it's kind of a hassle to ask, but if you guys, when you wake up in the morning or before you put your head on the pillow in the evening, if you guys could remember to go over and vote once a day for your boy for the next 15 days, it will be much appreciated. You know, I always say the honor is really in the nomination. It would be great, though, if somebody from our community were able to break through, make it into the top 5, and maybe even win. My man, Chase, I thought you were already a member, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Much love to everybody. All right. So that's the Gundies. I got one more announcement. I am hitting you guys with the announcements today, and then we can get into a little chat. Let me see if I can bring this up real quick. How do I do this? There we go. So look, fam, since my channel got the strike and I had some time off, you know what I'm saying? Idle minds and whatnot. Since I had some time off, there's been something that has been in the back of my mind that I've been thinking about for a while now. And let me see if I can go ahead and share this with you. Coming up on starting in January, I'm not sure if it'll be the first, but starting in the beginning of January, we are going to establish a second, 2ANLA is going to establish a second YouTube channel called Heat Check Radio. And this is going to be a little bit different from the 2ANLA channel. So on the 2ANLA channel, we're going to be focusing on the content that you guys have grown to know and love. We're going to be doing a lot of gun reviews, a lot of gear reviews like we normally do. On Heat Check Radio, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to be bringing you a lot of interviews where we're interviewing some of the biggest names in the 2011 space. And then the Second Amendment space, we're going to be bringing you commentary that I don't really get a chance to get into. We'll get into some Second Amendment news. So that channel is going to be more conversational. There'll be no reviews on that channel, but I hope you'll appreciate both the content that we're going to be providing on both channels. So there'll be more to come on Heat Check Radio, and I'll definitely be keeping you guys apprised of the progress on that. But definitely be looking out for Heat Check Radio. It will come, like I said, around the beginning of January. So I appreciate your support. I'm very, very excited about this content, but trust me, I'm not going to stop collecting guns. I'm not going to stop doing gun reviews. It's going to 2ANLA channel in 2026 is going to be off the chain. Look, fam, I wish I could tell you guys all the stuff that's coming. Stand by. The 2ANLA channel is going to be bigger and better than ever, but we are going to start this new venture, and it is going to be, I got some incredible people. We've already done an interview with Venom Customs. That's going to be over there. We got an interview coming with Rafferty Customs. That's going to be there. Combat Precision, Atlas Gun Works, Hayes, you name it. All the biggest names in the 2011 space, we're going to be interviewing in 2026. A couple of them will be in 2025, so they'll be on the 2ANLA channel at first and then migrate over to that. But in 2026, we're hitting all the names, and we're not going to just stop in the 2011 space. It's going to be some of the best gun manufacturers out there. I'm going to try to get out to Infinity to do a tour and an interview at Infinity's location. Look, fam, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Stand by. All right? Appreciate you. Okay, let's get into a little bit of the conversation I wanted to touch on tonight. And this isn't a big thing, but I gotta be honest, fam. I've been struggling a little bit with this, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it because the 2011 market has changed so dynamically. I was talking to Pat Rafferty when I was doing an interview with him, and we were bugging on the same thing in that we were talking about the 2011s. And I was telling him that I post on a variety of platforms, and I had posted on Reddit, right? And I don't remember what the exact post was, but it was a gun. And one of the comments in the gun, Mr. Professional, salute. One of the comments on the Reddit was that the guy had never met anyone who didn't shoot competitions that owned a 2011. And when I saw it, I kind of laughed. I was like, bro, look, there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of 2011s in circulation at this point in 2025. And at last check, I want to say USPSA had about 36,000 members. And so I was like, the vast majority of 2011 owners do not shoot competition. And he kind of paused. He acknowledged that I was right, but he said, 4 or 5 years ago, that was not true. And that was like a wow moment for me. And I know Don and I, who's in the chat now, have talked about this. Pat and I were kind of talking about it too. He's right. He's right. 2011s were a very kind of niche market. And I remember when I did my interview with Don at Venom, Don was kind of talking about like when he entered the game and started making pistols, he had guys every year that would kind of come to him for this season's competition people. And he would be their guy. And you had your guy that you would kind of go to. But with the explosion of the 2011 market and so many people who are buying guns, and I got to give Staccato a lot of credit for bringing the 2011 to the mainstream, right? Where they brought it to for self-defense purposes and for tactical / law enforcement purposes, and really popularizing the 2011. And so now, like I said, most of the people who own 2011s are not competition shooters. And because the market has kind of exploded, it's forced me to kind of reevaluate how the kind of categories I had. I remember when I would talk about entry-level pistols, right? And the entry-level pistols at the time were Staccato. They were Staccato P, the Staccato C series, some Bull Armory stuff. And those were kind of your entry-level guns, right? Kind of entry-level was like $2,000 to $3,000, right? And then you kind of had your mid-tier stuff. That was kind of like $3,000 to $4,500. That's where you would find like your MPAs, your Legion Precision, Chiracs, guns like that, right? And then the kind of higher end was kind of 5,000 and up. And this is when the Atlas Erebus was like 6,000, right? This is when all the other Atlas guns were like in the $5,000 range. Well, fast forward now, most Atlas guns are 6,000 and up, and most recently a $10,000 gun, as we saw, that sold out in the better part of 2 minutes. And so I've had to kind of go back and reevaluate these tiers and come up with, like, not necessarily from a quality perspective, but just from a pricing perspective, kind of go back and rethink about what are the real tiers in today's market. And hold on, let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. The Druckus Salute. What's the website? Gina will put that in. Gina or Shanna will put that in the chat for you, my man. I said what's up to Mr. Professional. Agreed. Certainly not any longer, Major Havoc. Certainly not any longer. I think that is a very niche part of the overall 2011 space, where some years back, competition shooters made up the majority of 2011 owners. They were, Mike. They were more affordable back then, 100%. Last line show we should be buying for more Black File. I'm curious how many there are out there. So there's a few. So shout out to Legion Precision, which is an African American owned 2011 manufacturer. Shout out to Rostic Arms, also African American owned, who have done kind of rifles primarily, but they are dropping 2011 soon, and they're sending one out to me for review. So stand by for that. Shout out to Or Armament, who did the giveaway in last week's live. So more and more people of color are starting to get into the manufacturing space. I love it. I love it. All right. Do you see this? Venom Custom says he remembers when he sold open guns for $2,300. Now, I think what he would also tell you is those guns are not like the guns he's making today. His skill level, technique, all of it is just through the roof. You guys know how I feel about Venom, how I feel about Rafferty and some of the other ones out there. Just top of the line. Michael, I thought I was going to be able to get one. I was not able to get it. Covert had promised me one from their allocation, but unfortunately, they couldn't even get one. They were locked out. So if you're fortunate enough to get one, congrats on that. Okay, caught up. All right. So here's where I have now kind of my upgraded, renewed tiers. I haven't finalized them yet. This was more a thought process. I want to get your input. So I am now calling any gun that is any 2011. Let me be specific. Any 2011 that is 2,500 or less, I'm calling that an entry level 2011. Now I know that's a pretty broad range because they go from as low as 700 to 800 up to 2,500, but it's hard. If I don't do it that way, then if I go like, well, this is a budget 2011, okay, then what's like that? If 1,500 or less is budget, then what's like 1,500 to 3? I feel like there's more tiers. So what I'm trying to do is only have 4 price tiers. All right, so keep that in mind. 4 price tiers, right? 2,500 or less, I'm calling entry level. 2,500 to 5,000, I'm calling mid tier. 5,000 to 7,500, I'm calling high end. And anything that's above 7,500, I'm calling that ultra premium. Let me know what you guys think of those 4. I'll read them again. 2,500 or less, entry level. 2,500 to 5,000, mid tier. 5,000 to 7,500, high end. 7,500 plus, ultra premium. Let me know what you guys think about that. And if those tiers make sense, giving the product that's out there. So that's kind of where I'm at. Michael Nolan says he likes the tiers. Okay. Tactical Chef says that sounds fair. I know what you meant. When Windenhorn 6314 said that sounds fair. Blaine is in here begging Don for guns. I don't blame you, Blaine. I would be begging him for guns too. if I had Don's, if I had Don's ear, I'd be begging for guns too. Tatty Cops, we know you got some nice ones in your collection. Stop playing. Don says, okay, look, don't blow my man up. My man said his books aren't opening up until late 2026 to early 2027. If you guys don't know, Don only makes around 50 guns or so per year. It's set in stone. And he has to do it that way because there is a quality standard that he refuses not to maintain. And so what you love about Don's guns are how well made they are, the quality, the attention to detail. To do that, it takes time. And so, yes, the demand far, far out. I have no doubt in my mind that if somehow Don were able to replicate himself and there were 25 Dons, he could make 1,000 guns a year and sell every single one. But he only has capacity to make 50. So if you want a Venom, you have to be patient. I know people feel like, oh, 2A in LA, you know all the people. They, speed your guns up. No, I wait. I wait. As long as, look, if Don tells me tomorrow, if I tell Don tomorrow I want a gun and he tells me I can't get it to you till late 2027, I'll be waiting until late 2027 because that's how I feel. That's how good I feel Don's guns are, and they are worth the wait to me. To me. I think it's a very, very competitive space. It's a very, very competitive space, you guys. Like it's not for the faint of heart. There's a lot of competition. Look, I don't, to be honest, I don't know how Don does it. Like the demand, the pressure on Don must be through the roof. If you make something that thousands of people want and you can only produce 50, I know that people are going to be upset. And I know Don is such a good guy. He wants to try to get a Venom in everybody's hands that he can. But it's tough. See, Don, so now I have verified I am patient. I am patient. I am patient. I do have I told Don my goal is to get at least one Venom a year. If that's not possible, that is fine. However long it takes, I am willing to wait. That's my guy, and he does such amazing work, worth the wait for me. There's a wait list over 100 deep. So just be patient, you guys. I think it is. I think it is. Now, look, here's the thing. Here's the thing about the Honcho V2. Look, Phoenix Trinity has been around a long time. And they have been, I mean, people talk about how Atlas is kind of the standard for kind of mass produced 2011s. I think a lot of people forget that not very long ago, Phoenix Trinity was supplying parts to Atlas so that Atlas could build their guns. Phoenix Trinity should be up here. You know, sometimes we're our own worst enemy, whether deserved or not. They have gotten a reputation for not necessarily being the best at QC and not necessarily being the best at customer service. That said, they knocked it out of the park with that V2. When that V2 came into Covert shop, Chris, the owner at Covert, was very excited about it. And I was like, I got my H-Tac. I got my H-Tac. It runs great. I had Skip's guns go in and redo it. I wasn't enamored about it. But Chris wanted me to do a review on the gun, so I took it out to do a review, and I was blown away. That gun is really, look, I've told you guys many times, look, my Venom, my all steel Venom Triport, my all steel Rafferty Lucky, those guns are amazing shooters. And there is no comparison relative to quality or accuracy or any of that stuff compared to the Honcho isn't even in the same discussion. But in terms of having a gun that is just fun, that is lightweight, not heavy, you can shoot it all day long and not feel like there's any wear or tear on you. That gun is so soft, so flat. It is a blast to shoot. I've taken the saying, it's the funnest thing you can shoot in 9mm. So I felt like, I'm not a huge fan of everything that PT does, but I felt like they knocked it out of the park with that one. I've got the Dark Forge Reaper. It's holding up great. I've heard amazing shooting gun. I've heard nothing but good things for the most part. Although I did get a report from one of my subscribers. I won't put his name out there unless he wants to, saying that he felt like it was wearing internally, like it was showing wear, not exteriorly where you can see it, but kind of internally, it was showing wear a little bit faster than he would have expected. And when he reached out to the refractory, they told him that that was normal wear. But I can say that I've got probably a few thousand rounds through my. You work, look, man, look. It's funny, and let me just say this public service announcement. There are people out here who call up people like Don. They call up people like Pat Rafferty. They call up people like Ben Hayes, and they tell them, oh my God, I have to have a Venom. I have to have a Rafferty. I have to have a Hayes. That 2A in LA guy won't shut up about how amazing it is. This is my dream gun. I promise you, this is everything that I could possibly ever want in the history of the world. I would give up my child. I would give up my second born to have a Venom. And then Don does it for them, puts it together, sends them a phenomenal gun, and the next day the gun is up for sale on GunBroker. Look, you people are killing the 2011 market. You are part of the problem, right? We all want these guns to be able to be in the hands of people who are going to appreciate them and who are going to shoot them and who are going to, who really want them and who are not doing this for some kind of speculative business venture. So, look, man, don't be buying Don's guns and then selling them the next day. I told Don, look, I would have to be homeless to sell my Venom. And I said, and even then, I would need something to protect myself. So I'm probably still not selling. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Look, make sure that you guys are not that person because they're frowned upon in the industry as a whole, and it doesn't take long for you to establish a reputation that you're that guy. It's very high in your system, but compared to an Atlas, it was not as well feeling. I would say that Dark Forge, I'd say it's comparable to an Atlas in terms of fit and finish. Is Atlas maybe a little bit better? Yeah. But depending on the Atlas, right? Like the Dark Forge Wraith, for instance, is coming in at 5,800 or somewhere in that range. Your Apollo is 6,500, so $700 more. Your EOS, $700 more. I don't know what the Athena is trading for now, but I'll tell you what, I think I would rather have a Wraith than an Athena if given the choice between the two. And of course, if you're talking about like an Artemis or an Erebus, those guns are $8,000. And so, yeah, I would probably give Atlas an edge, but I think it's a marginal edge. Okay, so my man Black King was the one who I was talking about. Since he said it, I'm okay with saying his name. He has a Reaper. He felt like the wear on the interior of the gun was a little bit faster than it was. Again, this is interior wear. So when you break the gun down and you look to see how it's wearing, he thought it was wearing a little bit faster than it should. So, but it does shoot great. Yeah. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. You have to wait, David Garcia. There's no shortcuts. I waited over a year to get my Hays, and that was before they were like crazy impacted. So yeah, Black King, the firstborn, he got to go. I can get a Venom, he got to go. Look, I made him. I can make another one. No problem. No problem. My man said I bought 4 atlases this summer because of you. Hopefully that's a good thing. Hopefully that's a good thing. Hey, CK Kev, what's good, fam? It has been a minute. Hopefully you and your family had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Good to see you here, fam. Good to see you here. Facts. I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Unless there is some kind of major shift in my focus, I don't buy guns to sell. That's not what I do. That's not what I do. Now, if I get a gun and I don't like it and I think it sucks, then that's a different story. That really doesn't happen to me because most of the time I have the opportunity to test the guns before I buy them. So a lot of times my decision to buy is based on the review. Either that or I already have a firearm from that manufacturer and I'm very comfortable. Like if Don hit me up tomorrow and said, hey, Alan, I got an extra gun here. Are you interested? If I had the ability, I would buy it on site because I know the quality that gun is going to be. Same thing like the Hades, for instance. I wasn't able to grab one, but if I was worried about, is the manufacturing quality going to be? It's Atlas. I got 5 Atlas guns. I know what Atlas is, right? And so generally speaking, yeah, I don't, if I buy it, I'm keeping it. Man, Blaine, absolutely. Absolutely. I wish there was something that you could do. Have you guys seen where, like, I think it's Ferrari or some of the high end like car dealerships, like they have a rule: you buy a Ferrari, you can't sell it for at least a year. Or sometimes homeowners association, when you're buying into a house, you have to stay in that house for at least a year. They don't want people flipping it because it's bad for the space. It may be a financial windfall for that one individual, but it's bad for the overall market. And I think these resellers, man, they're I don't want to say they're not good people. They're just disingenuous, a lot of them. And I know, like, Covertus told me stories where people will call and they'll be like, I want to buy 2 Sand Vipers. And Covertus like, why do you want 2 of the exact same gun? Well, one I'm going to shoot and the other one I'm going to save for collection. Okay. And then they sell them 2. And the very next day, there's a Sand Viper up on Gunbroker. That same Sand Viper is up on Gunbroker. So I don't like that. I don't like that. It's not good. Facts. Cause look, depending on where you're going, you might need it, fam. Depending on where you're headed, you might need it. So look, I am not mad at that take. David, you got to wait till his books open up and then get on the list. I would stay in touch with Covert. Look, here's one thing that I will say. I know a lot of people think I'm kind of a shill for Covert. It's not that. I'm no more a shill for Covert than I am a shill for Venom. In that, if I feel like you provide a tremendous service and you provide a quality product or service, I have no problem with shouting your name from the rooftops. And the good thing about Covert is all of these gun builders who have a limited capacity, a lot of them have exclusive or semi-exclusive relationships with Covert. And so a lot of times maybe 50% of Don's allocation is going to covert, or 25% or 60% of Hayes is going to covert and certain amount. So I would always start at covert and stay in touch with them relative to when books are opening back up. That's what I would recommend. I don't because the company behind Dark Forge has been making 2011s for very, very well known 2011 manufacturers for years. And so, look, David, if I'm going to keep it 100 with you, the name you brought up, do they even make their guns? I would say there are a lot of companies out there that slap their name on the side of a gun and don't even manufacture the gun really. And so Dark Forge has been white labeling for very well known 2011 manufacturers for a long time. And that design has been out for a long time. They just are now bringing it to market. So, and I don't feel like, I think the problem is, how do I want to say this? I think we think that what goes into the price of the gun is just the components. And I think if you watch the interview that I did with Don a few weeks back, if you watch the interview that's going to be premiering with Rafferty this coming Saturday, December 6th, then you'll know that, look, it's not just the parts that make up the price. So if you've got high premium parts, yeah, those parts are probably going to run you $3-4 grand. I think people think, oh, well, the parts $3-4 grand, then that's what the price of the gun could be. You're not factoring in the labor and the skilled labor that it takes to put together a gun of that quality. Okay, so now you add that to it, and maybe it's 40 hours of work time or 30 hours of work time or 25 hours of work time. So you add that cost, that skilled labor, to the cost of the gun. Okay, now, and then you would think, okay, well, now you're done, right? No. Now you're not done. You've got overhead, right? You've got overhead. You have the facility in which the guns are manufactured out of. That gets factored into the price. You have the equipment, millions and millions of dollars in equipment that they had to front to put out there to be able to produce the gun. That's factored into the price. So I think what you get with the Dark Forge Reaper is comparable to what they're giving you. Look at that gun compared to other similar guns with similar features, and I think you'll see that it's a reasonable price. Yeah, well, we would like to get that gun for $1,500, sure, but it's never going to happen. Never going to happen. Just they'd be losing money per unit, and they're not in it to lose money. And keep in mind, once they have their price is not your price, right? They have a price that allows them to make a certain profit. Then they send it off to dealers like Covert, right? Well, Covert has to make a profit too, right? So Covert buys it at their price, and then Covert or whomever, Modern Warriors or whoever, has to mark it up, and they have to make money off of it too. So I don't think that it's overpriced. I think it's fairly priced, in my opinion. One of them for sure. It's on a very, very short list, my friend. A very, very short list. I would agree. Now, look, this is no disrespect to the Charins of the world, the Chambers of the world, and others who make fine 2011s, who are expensive as well. But I think if you're talking about all around quality, shootability, accuracy, fit and finish, and aesthetics. Those are my three. Those are my three. Yeah, and so here's the thing. So I always say there's five goats in my book, and I'm happy to kind of talk about them. I gave you my three custom builders that I think are kind of the best. I also include Infinity in there, and I include Atlas in there for two different reasons. I include Atlas because Atlas has been able to ramp up production. We talked earlier about how Don is going to do 50 guns or less. Ben is going to do around that, a little bit more, give or take. Pat's probably going to do even less. And so Atlas has been able to ramp up production where they're producing 200, 300, 400 guns a month, multiple different models. And they have maintained a quality at that production level that, in my opinion, is unmatched in the industry. It's unmatched in the industry. And so I think, and they're providing parts to some of the best of the best of the best custom builders. Don can use anybody's parts that he wants. It's not an accident that he's choosing a lot of Atlas components in his guns. Same thing for Hayes. Same thing for Rafferty. And so that's why Atlas gets a special place in my heart, in my rankings, right? I would also say Infinity, similarly speaking, Infinity makes a gun. They take a great shooting gun. I don't think it's quite like Venom, Rafferty, Hayes level, but they take it's awfully close, and they make an aesthetic that sizzles right across a wide variety. I literally, and this is not an exaggeration, right? I could have 50 different Infinities in my gun room right now, and each one could be totally different looking. I don't know of another gun manufacturer that's bringing it that way. And so, shout out to my GOAT tier: Infinity, Atlas, Venom, Rafferty, and Hayes. To me, man, they're different. They're different. Siege, stop playing. You got the big bucks. Siege can buy a Venom with money that's accidentally dropped in her couch. Siege is next level. All right, hold on. Let me get through. Who is paying 15 to 20K for an Infinity, for example? I can understand a little price increase. Look, I think you'd be surprised. I think you'd be surprised. I know at least one example where a quad port, a Venom quad port, was sold by Don, probably somewhere, and I'm just guessing, in a $6,000 to $8,000 range, let's call it. And within a month, it was selling, it was trading for over $20,000. I personally have gotten offers on my Lucky Devil for over 25,000 that I've turned down. So no, there are people out here who are willing to pay, people in country and out of country. And so just know that. Know that you're not only competing against very high net worth individuals in this country, there are people all around the world who are looking to get these high end 2011s, and they'll pay whatever. They'll pay whatever. Don't say that, Siege. You're going to wake up tomorrow and have a line outside your front door. Maybe, Gina. Maybe. Sure. And you should be thinking about that too, ma'am. You should be thinking about that too. I can neither confirm or deny, my friend. I can neither confirm or deny. Hey Don, I think it's a great interview. It's a great interview. I think you're gonna love it. I wouldn't even, no shade to staccato. No shade to staccato at all. But there's levels to this. And not only is it better than the XL, it's better than the XC. Staccato doesn't make a gun that's this good. They don't. And I love it. I have a staccato, an upgraded staccato C2, P, and XC, and I'm thinking about getting that little 3.6. So, and I've reviewed almost all the staccatos at this point. Yeah, the Nox 9 is significantly better than the XL. Huh. Yeah, that's probably not. Now, I have talked with a couple of people about producing a limited run 2A NLA kind of partnership 2011. We'll see. We'll see. Integrity Firearms, my guy. Salute. Salute. Oh, good, good. So they stepped up and said they would take care of it. That's good to know. I love my Reaper. I love my Reaper. So I don't have any issues. Like I said, I probably got a couple thousand rounds through mine. It's wearing fine. It's wearing fine. And it looks like Black King 9 sent his Reaper back to them. And so that's what you want, fam. Look, nobody, not even the greats, not even Don or Pat or Ben, nobody is perfect, right? And so it, to me, it says more about how a company responds when there's a problem than it does when everything is running peachy king. So I'm glad they stepped up. Howard J, salute. Yeah, well, TTI is not, well, historically, they're not manufacturers. So historically, they've always partnered with other builders for their offering. So just know that. And I'm trying to catch up. Okay, 6K, yeah. Yeah, so that gun was 6K and ended up selling for over 20,000. Like I said, I've had people offer me 25,000 or more for my Rafferty. And if I told them I could probably get the same for my Venom. These are guns that are personal to me. I have a personal relationship with the builders. I these guns are mine for life. Can't find anything online because every brand says they manufacture in house. So, who are the best brands that manufacture in house? I would say Atlas. I, if you're talking about guns that are readily available, guns that are not custom guns like Rafferty or Venom or Hayes, not those. But if you're talking about like production level guns where they manufacture in house, I think Atlas is kind of the standard. I think standard. Staccato is, if staccato is the standard for like entry level and mid tier guns, Atlas is the standard for what's my category called? For high end firearms. What? Burner Girl. We're not going to do that. We cannot have a conversation about Atlas and you bring up Taurus. What? What are we doing? What are we doing right now? Oh, you meant the SIG. Oh, okay. Well, okay, that's all right. That's all right. Yeah, it's a good gun. I did a review on it. I want to say that gun scored like an 83. I think it's one of the best value proposition guns out there. Water run have nonstop stovepipe. When I contacted TI, basically told me to kick rocks. Really? Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Now, did you buy it from TTI directly, or did you buy that one from a retailer? I'm ready to get into the 2011 space. I'm willing to drop 2,500 to 3,000. Who should I choose? I would be looking at the SIG P211. If you can squeeze out a few more dollars, I would get the like around 3,400, 3,500. I would get the MPA DS9 Hybrid TC. I think that gun is a tremendous value buy. I would look at the Kimber 2K11. It's got a couple of men parts on it, but not in any place where it needs, where it's critical. But that's one I would consider that's in that range as well. Or I would look at getting an entry level gun and really building and beefing it up. Those would be the ones that I would consider. Okay. Yeah, that sucks, Dave. I'm sorry about that. B Norm, what's good with you? Yep, that's what I said. MPA. Yep. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Took mine out this weekend to shoot to do a comparison video with the Fowler, and the Alpha American Porty gun. Dallas Apollo is an awesome 2011. I think there's a couple other guns. Atlas Apollo, the Fowler. There's a couple of guns, the Dark Force Wraith, a couple guns right around that $6,000 range. Atlas EOS, a couple guns around that $6,000 range. I think they're very, very good. Staccato P is great. I think the other guns are more feature rich. Yeah, yeah. Hard to go wrong with Atlas gun. I mean, they just make really, really good stuff. All right, look, fam, let's get into the giveaway. If you guys weren't here earlier, we're going to be giving away the Olight O-Sight C. This is the RMR footprint Olight, and this is the one that has the side loading battery in it. And I'm also going to throw in a 2A NLA cat patch and keychain. And we're only doing a member only giveaway today. So just be cognizant of that. Let me share my screen. Let's shuffle. Shout out to all of my members. I should also say, fam, during our Heat Check Honors Award Show, in addition to the Fusion Firearms, I'm also going to be doing some spot giveaway stuff too. So that's going to be an uber fun night. All right? Okay, Mr. BS, what's good, fam? There, Team Blacksmith. Look, Team Blacksmith isn't in the chat, but I will hit him up and let him know he was the winner of the Olight O-Sight C. Congratulations to my man. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Let me stop sharing. All right, fam. Look, we've been going an hour and a half. I want to thank everybody for coming through. Reminder, if you're not a member and you want to be able to be eligible for that Fusion Firearm XP ProCom giveaway, you got till midnight tonight to become a member. If you're already a member, you automatically get one entry. If you have not registered at my website, you have until midnight tonight to register at my website for a free entry. If you've already registered, can't re-register. I have that list already. But if you've never registered at my website, if you go to the website tonight, then you will get free entries. I will not promise that there will be opportunities for additional entries. I got to think that through. But make sure you guys do that. Make sure you vote for all your favorite content creators for the Gundies. It is about time somebody in our community broke through to make it into the top 5 and to pick up a win. Stay tuned for all of the announcements about the Heat Check honors. Real quick, I want to shout out our sponsors again. Let's drop this one more again for the peoples who missed it if they came in late. That's our gun. That's our giveaway gun, y'all. That's the comp. Look, shout out to all of my sponsors. I appreciate you guys, love you guys. Without you, the people, and without my sponsors, I gotta say, fam, this channel would not be much. Would not be much. So anyway, fam, with that, I'm going to wrap it up. I want to say peace. Everybody have a safe week. Get home to your family. Get home to your loved ones. Make it happen out there. Stay prayed up. Love y'all. See you next week.